There's a lot of people getting into cycling at the moment, and one thing that people want to know is which bike is right for them. One thing riding and owning all these different types of bikes has taught me is what they're good for and what they're not good for. Now you can either buy one of each and test them for yourself, or you could just listen to this video. First of all, before we start with that, the most important thing is to make sure you get the right size of bike. Wrong size of bike, and no matter what type it is, riding it's going to be horrible. So, I'm going to go through some of the different types of bike you can buy and what kind of rider they're for. There are lots of different types of bikes. They're all usually great at one thing, but if you pick the right bike, it can be a jack of all trades and a master of one. Before you decide what kind of bike to buy, you have to think about what you're going to ride. If you've decided that you really want to do some sort of racing, then just buy the bike that fits that type of racing. Make it simple for yourself. You can get a downhill bike. This is what a downhill bike looks like. You don't want one of these. Long travel, heavy. Don't get one unless you're going to do uplift days or race downhill. You can get an enduro bike. This is what an enduro bike looks like. Big brakes, 1x chain set, 150mm rear travel, 150mm front travel. Going to be something in the order of that. This one's got a carbon frame suspension. You can use this for normal mountain biking, but it's going to be less efficient than a cross-country bike. If you think you might want to start racing enduro, get something like this. You can get a trail bike. This is a trail bike. This is the kind of thing the average mountain biker wants to ride. It has less travel than the enduro bike. It's a bit lighter usually, and it's slightly heavier, more robust, and has more travel than a cross-country bike. Most people want a bike like this if they want to go mountain biking. You can get a cross-country bike. Mostly 29-inch wheeled ones are the best thing to buy. This is an imaginary cross-country bike because mine hasn't been delivered yet. If you want a mountain bike and your main focus is on fitness, or perhaps all the trails around your area are relatively easy, then a cross-country bike might be the right choice for you. You can get a cyclocross bike. Stronger and heavier than a gravel bike, not by much, and quite a bit lighter and more aerodynamic than a cross-country mountain bike. This is a cyclocross bike. You want one of these if you're going to ride anything from the easiest mountain bike trails to basically road up to the point of doing road racing. Now I have actually ran slick tyres on this and done a road race on it, so you can do it. So slightly less aerodynamic than a road bike, usually slightly heavier, definitely stronger, can take a couple of hits to the wheels without destroying them, and much more tyre clearance as well. So you can put much bigger tyres on. Bigger tyres give you more grip. You could get a gravel bike, but I don't have one. It's too similar to a cyclocross bike for me. A gravel bike might be right for you if you've got your eye on a road bike. It's basically a road bike for gravel roads. Its less extreme geometry is a lot more comfortable, and the ride is generally a lot more forgiving. You get a road race bike. Maybe every single part of your life is about going as fast as you possibly can and showing other people that you're better than them. This is a road bike. Now it's not mine, so I won't take off the bags and the questionable pedals. These bikes are entirely for riding on smooth surfaces. So you want to ride this on a sealed cycle path or a roadway without potholes is the ideal sort of situation for this bike. I wouldn't recommend getting a road bike as your only bike. It's kind of right up at one end of the spectrum. So if you're watching this video and you don't want a bike to do road racing on, you probably don't want to buy one of these. So if you're going to be taking advantage of a lot of the new cycling infrastructure that's been built recently, and you've not got any other decent newish bikes, what I suggest you do is buy yourself a cyclocross, gravel or cross-country bike. Gives you the most options. Cross-country if you think you're going to want to try mountain biking, gravel if you don't think you're going to want to try mountain biking, and cyclocross if you're still kind of a bit unsure. But generally these sorts of cyclocross and gravel bikes are kind of similar. They've all got drop handlebars. You can use them for road riding, you can stick thinner tyres on them and do road races on them. I've done that myself. Cross-country bike, you're probably not going to want to do a full-on road race on it, but you can definitely get about pretty quick. It's great for commuting on as well. Yeah, all these bikes will give you the best sort of options for deciding what kind of riding you want to do in the future without having to buy a new bike. If you've decided that you're going to start mountain biking, get yourself a trail bike. You can get hardtail trail bikes if you're looking for a cheaper option. I would recommend a 120 plus travel front and rear bike, and basically looking for what's relatively new. Another thing, I wouldn't recommend buying a second-hand bike unless you've got someone who can come and look at it with you that knows what they're looking at. The price of components and repairs and bearings and that kind of thing can quickly add up to the price of a brand new bike when you've added that to the purchase price of your second-hand bike. So try to steer clear of that unless you've got the expertise or you know someone who does. I hope this has helped you decide what kind of bike to buy. The only bad option is not buying a bike at all.